Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another installment of the LKCS webinar series. My name is James Markey. I'm the lead web designer here at LKCS. Today we'll be talking about why you need a redesign and how to make your project stay on schedule. I want to remind everyone that the phone lines are muted and questions can be asked in the question toolbar and will be answered at the end of the webinar. Everyone will receive a link to download this presentation later in the afternoon, as well as a link to our YouTube channel to view the recording. Before we get into this, I want to take a quick second and formally introduce myself. Again, my name is James. I've been with LKCS for just over a year and a half. I bring with me about 10 years of design experience. I have a background in print design, pre-press, digital press work, email marketing design, and of course, web design. The following is my contact information in which you can reach out to me at any time and for any reason. For those of you not familiar with LKCS and our products and services, here is a rather detailed outline of all of our company offers. LKCS first began as a commercial printing business in 1961 and has since grown to become a provider in all things marketing, design, print, mail, and web. Additionally, it's also worth noting that we specialize in providing design and marketing solutions specifically for financial institutions. While today's conversation is to be fixed on website redesigns, we certainly welcome the opportunity to discuss with you any of these other services should you have a question or interest. Today's webinar will go through the main points of website redesign, starting with when and why you should consider a redesign, moving on to what to expect and how to keep the project moving. I will also provide a few tips for a smooth website redesign project, how to use the website launch to your marketing advantage, and finally, highlight a few products and services that LKCS offers. Let's get started. You may be asking yourself, why do I need a website redesign? Well, the life cycle of a website is fairly short. The designs, layouts, and even functionality that we implement today is going to become outdated. Technologies and trends change so rapidly, the average lifespan of a website is 3 to 5 years. 5 years is still considered by some too long without a redesign. If your website is well over 5 years old, you should be considering a redesign in the very near future. Just as technologies change, so do trends. Every generation has had their own twist on fashion that has come and gone. Websites are no different. Blinking marquee text may have been a hot trend, but in present time, that feature would make your site look old and outdated. In the past few years, we've seen many design trends evolve, including minimalist design, flat design, and parallax scrolling. We've also seen design element trends like hero images, which is a big banner or image that takes up a large amount of real estate on the home page, as well as long shadow icons. Users are becoming more and more savvy and expect your website to offer the latest and greatest. If you don't offer a great user experience, someone else will. Expectations from users is growing at a very demanding pace, and user experience needs to be a more thought-out process. Young adults have grown up using the internet their entire lives and want to be able to do most, if not all, of their transactions using computers, tablets, or phones. Walking into a brick-and-mortar building is no longer an important feature to these users. Our recent survey found 36% of U.S. consumers would open an account with a bank that is completely virtual if it offered the best and more secure services, compared to 60% globally. If you are not offering online services that help and benefit users, a significant portion of your members or customers may be migrating to other institutions that do. You should also consider this. A website is your hardest working employee, ready and waiting to serve potential and existing customers and members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You most likely have employee performance reviews about every year. So how often do you review all elements of your website, including design, functionality, and overall usability? If you are not doing this at all, or very infrequently, you should begin reviewing your website roughly every 6 months to 1 year. If you are not reviewing your site at least once a year, your site can fall apart very quickly. There are several reasons for this. Web technologies change at such a rapid pace that things break. Features that have been functioning just fine for 2 years will randomly not work one day because a piece of technology was updated on a server, or maybe a browser update caused an issue. There are 2 ways to discover these issues. 1, have an unsatisfied customer or member call asking why a certain area of the site isn't working, or 2, find these issues during a website review. Now, you most likely link to other products and services from your website. What happens when those parties remove the pages you link to? You are often left with a broken link and your users are not getting the best user experience. At LKCS, when we're asked to put together a proposal, we sit down and go through the site to see how it looks, how it functions, how usable it is, and a few other things. We provide that report to the institution so they can see what we think needs to be done. Oftentimes, the sites we review have one thing in common. People don't know what to do once they arrive at the site. Online banking could be a small text link in the upper right hand that's hard to find. Rates could be buried on inside pages that are hard to get to. The home page doesn't have a clear call to action for the next step. In some cases, websites have been working against institutions. Either they didn't realize certain parts of their website were done in Flash, or they didn't understand that Flash is not accessible on iPhone or iPad. So if a user went to your site on one of these devices, which is highly likely, the user could not use or see certain parts of the website. If you are not reviewing your site at least once a year, you are doing a disservice to your website and users. With a website redesign comes a handful of other benefits, beginning with the ever-popular social media. You may have added social media icons to your existing website, but chances are they were never intended to be where you put them, and it may be slightly noticeable. Maybe you wanted to include your Facebook feed, but didn't have the room in your current site. With a redesign, all these things can be added and implemented in a way that looks natural, benefiting the end user and increasing your overall accessibility. Speaking of accessibility, there are plenty of tools that have been developed in the last few years to help you access and manage your website or aspects of your website, saving you time and money. We currently have tools that help you manage banner ads, rates, Facebook content, online loan applications, and contact forms. The use of a content management system, also called a CMS, can help save time and in some cases save money on future website redesigns. Another benefit of a redesign is strengthening your brand. As with anything else, sometimes your brand may need a little refreshing. If you have brand standards in place, those should be provided and the website design should be developed from those standards. If you expect to create a new look for your institution from the website redesign, you should be very aware of the decisions you are making in the design process. Make sure all the elements of the website, colors, fonts, images, and anything else will look just as good in print and any other applications you would be using them in. And like I mentioned earlier, if you don't provide a great user experience, someone else will. That is another very important factor in a redesign. If you are able to create an amazing user experience, offering online services that really help and benefit users, while creating a website that is easy to navigate, your institution may be the one acquiring new customers or members. On to one of the hottest topics in web design. One of the main questions we get is, should we create a responsive website? Each and every time, our answer is yes. People are accessing websites on mobile devices and tablets more and more each year. The amount of users accessing the internet on devices other than a desktop computer is going to continue to grow to the point mobile devices will be used more than desktop computers to access the internet on a daily basis. Currently, 55% of American adults have smartphones, while 42% own tablets. If that doesn't indicate the need for a responsive site, consider this. Mobile devices accounted for 55% of internet usage in the United States in January of 2014. That is the first time in history mobile devices have outnumbered desktop computers in internet usage. If you're not familiar with responsive design, let me give you a quick overview. With responsive design, you build one website and maintain one website. When users access that website on different devices, like a desktop computer, tablet, or phone, the content of the site reduces, shifts, and reorganizes to fit the device being used. The benefit of responsive goes back to user experience. Positive user experience is key. According to Google's Think Insights on mobile, if a user lands on your mobile website and is frustrated or doesn't see what they are looking for, there's a 61% chance they will leave immediately and go to another website. With a responsive site, most, if not all, your content will be available to any user on any device. Another benefit of responsive design is that it future-proofs your site. New phones, tablets, laptops, and computers are coming out all the time. All these new devices have different screen sizes. With responsive design, new screen sizes don't really matter. The site is optimized to look its best on the device being used to view your website. Responsive design is here to stay, and we highly recommend implementing it. Here are some of the technical details you need to know about websites and how they operate. We all know how to get to a website. We type the address in a browser, hit enter, and the website loads. Although it does seem simple, there are some details about how that actually works that are very important and need to be discussed with your current providers and once the quote process starts with any new providers. The first thing you will need to do is secure a domain name if you don't have one. A domain name is something like www.google.com, and those are usually purchased with companies like GoDaddy or Network Solutions. You will also need to know who controls your DNS zone file. DNS stands for Domain Name System. This is often compared to a phone book for the internet by translating human-friendly computer names like www.google.com into IP addresses like 173.194.115.49. The reason you will need to know who controls this is because it may need to be updated when your new site is ready to launch. The next item on the list is to find out who hosts your current website. A host is someone you buy server space and bandwidth from so you can host your website files so people can view your website. This is similar to buying land to build a house on. If you don't buy this space, you won't have anywhere to host your files. You need to know this because you may be under contract with your current host for a certain amount of time. You will also need to know if you are going to continue hosting your files with your current provider or move to another provider. If you are going to use a different hosting service, you can get cost estimates on hosting when you send out your request to quote. To go along with hosting, some people purchase an SSL certificate or secure sockets layer. You will need to know if you currently have an SSL or if you will need one. If you plan on having online banking login or a contact form on your website, we highly recommend purchasing an SSL. This basically means any communications on your website will be secure. You can tell customers and members over and over not to put their account numbers or any other personal information in a contact form, but eventually someone will. If you have an SSL, the message will be secure and the data will be safe. Finally, you need to think about email hosting. Do you currently have email hosting? Who hosts it, and will it be affected if you choose a new website host? If you have an email address like yourname@institutionname.com, you are using email hosting and should look into if or how it will be affected. If you do not have email hosting, now would be a great time to start. Email hosting is usually inexpensive and makes your institution look more professional. These 5 points are very important, and if you are having any trouble with this information, LKCS can help in determining some of these things. Now that we've covered some of the more technical things, let's talk about how we can get the project started. Getting started with a project may have you feeling overwhelmed once you realize just how big a task it is to create a new website. I have 6 tips to help you start the project off in the right direction. The first is team creation. Oftentimes, a large team is created to be in charge of the project. While this may seem like a great idea, it will usually cause the project to stall, or in most cases, the project will slow down due to the need to show changes to everyone involved. It also slows the decision-making process. A large team may discuss a change or feature of the website for weeks, whereas a group of 3 may come to a decision in a matter of hours or days. You may need to get content approval from other departments, which is fine, but a team of 3 is usually best to work on the overall website redesign project. That team should outline goals of a website. If clear goals are not created, there will be no way to measure the success of the website redesign. The goals can range from something as simple as making online banking login easier to find, and as complex as generating new products or service signups from existing customers or members and getting more signups for email marketing. Whatever your goal or goals are for your new site, make sure they are clear and everyone involved in the redesign process is aware of them. Everyone should be making design and functionality decisions based around these goals. Your goals should also include a timeline of the project, taking into consideration when you should launch your new site. Once you have created your team and determined the goals, you should begin the research phase. I've broken research into its own slide because it's an extremely important step. Look at as many different websites as you can. Look at other financial institutions' websites, see what they are doing that is working, what areas of their site you love, things you don't like, what features you like or don't like. There are so many new and emerging technologies that it is impossible to know about every new product or service that may benefit your website. For this reason, you need to research and see what other institutions are offering. We recently instituted a review system on a credit union website. People have the ability to rate a product being offered by the credit union, leaving comments and indicating if they would recommend the product. The credit union does have the ability to screen the review before it goes live. You may think it's a bad idea to have reviews. However, other than everyday items, our purchases we make are based on reviews. The review could come from the form of a personal recommendation from a friend, or while shopping on Amazon looking at reviews before you purchase. A 2013 study confirmed 79% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. For that reason, you should also look at websites of companies that are not financial institutions. How can features of their website be turned into something you can use to your benefit and make your website stand out? Another step is looking at websites that you use daily or weekly. Sit down and really investigate those sites. Why do you use them? What keeps you coming back? Is it the functionality or maybe a certain feature that no other website offers quite the same way? The more detailed your research is, the more accurate your quote will be. You can save time and money by dedicating yourself to this step and offering the most information you can when getting a proposal. The team at LKCS prides themselves on staying up to date and current with new and emerging trends. We want to offer the latest and greatest of everything. But we all have certain features on websites that we like and don't like. That's why it's always best to provide examples of things you would like to see on your site and features you don't really like. Once the research phase is complete, you should have enough information about what you like, don't like, and what you want to see that you should be able to put together a request for proposal. These should be sent to as many companies as you want. I would suggest at least 3 to get a broad idea of pricing and services available to you. Once you get the proposals back, the team should sit down, evaluate each one, compare them to each other, and if necessary, request more information or even a demo. For instance, LKCS has prepared proposals and then followed up with a demo of the CMS we offer. It helps to see the product in action and how easy it makes maintaining the website. If you are not going to be making website changes yourself, you should take into consideration the turnaround time for requested changes. We've heard instances of some places taking up to 2 weeks on changes. That could cause a problem if the change was critical and needed to be done right away. Finally, make a decision. You will work very closely with the selected company for the life of the project. Once you have enough information and feel comfortable selecting a company to work with, make that decision. One of the most important parts of the project is the first meeting after selecting the company to work with. Any final details should be discussed during this meeting. If anything has changed since the request for proposal was sent out, that should be covered. Bring your research to this meeting, talk about all the specifics of the website, the design, functionality, and any additional features. If there are any brand standards that need to be used, those should be supplied. Any items that you don't want should also be noted. Content can generally be created two ways. If you currently have a website, the content can be copied over to the new site. This way is a little quicker because the content is already created and ready to use. However, it does have its downfalls. You are redesigning your website for a reason. Things are outdated. In some cases, that can mean content is outdated. Going with this method, you risk having outdated content on a new website. The other option is to rewrite all the content. This may take longer, but the end result will be fresh new content on a great new website. Hopefully, you can put into place tools to help keep content on the new site fresh and updated. Because as we all know, content is king, and having the most updated and relevant content is essential. You may even want to consider a blog with the new site to ensure you are adding new and timely content to the website. Each firm has its own process for managing a website redesign project. Here's an overview of our process at LKCS. Using all the feedback, ideas, comments, and questions from the kickoff meeting, we would create a homepage that we think meets all your needs and hopefully more. You will then get the time you need to review the proposed homepage with your team. After reviewing the design, you can let us know if the site is approved or if you want to make any modifications to the proposed site. We will revise and tweak the design until you are completely satisfied. Once the homepage design is final, we move on to inside page design. Using elements from the homepage, we would create an inside page. Again, you will have time to review the design with your team and, if necessary, make any modifications. After the homepage and inside page have been designed, we will begin programming. Our developers will take those mock-ups that were created and turn them into a functioning website. We will create the homepage and one inside page. We will then send links to you for you to review. When we have final approval, we will begin page development. As I discussed before, there are two different options to get content on the new site. Taking content from your old site and adding it to the new site, or if you created new content, we would use that. This process will take a few weeks to complete. We will be building out all the pages of the new site and creating other elements involved, like quick links, forms, application, calculators, banner manager, rates manager, or any other custom feature that may be included in your new site. Once we feel the website is ready for review, we will let you know. We will ask that you take your time and review all the pages and content. Make a Word document or something similar with a list of changes, questions, comments, or concerns. After you've gone through all the pages and have compiled all thoughts into a Word document, send that to us and we can make any adjustments to the site or answer any questions. Once the website is approved, we will pick a day to launch the new site. This is when knowing the DNS and domain name information will be needed. We would make the changes to the settings or assist in making the changes to the settings at the right time to make the new website live on the day it was scheduled. Once the site is live, our team will begin further testing to make sure everything is functioning correctly. Once testing is complete, the team will continue to be on standby in case anything were to stop working or begin malfunctioning. The length of this list is very deceiving. Although it seems like there isn't much work to be done to create a new website, I can assure you the process is a lot longer than it appears here. Each of these steps can take weeks to complete. I have some tips to help keep the project moving forward and on schedule for the selected launch day. We understand that everyone is busy and things have to sit or be put on hold once in a while. But a website should not wait. Things can snowball very quickly. One day may turn into 1 week, 1 week into 1 month, and before you realize it, your website project has been sitting for 4 months. Like we discussed earlier, web trends and technologies change so fast, 4 months may not seem long, but every day things are changing. Instead of letting the project sit, I have some tips to make the process go more smoothly and hopefully more quickly. These things will help you stay on budget and keep you in your timeline to launch the new site. If you are sent approved to review, get together as quickly as possible, sit down with the team, and review the mock-up. One meeting where everyone can give their opinion is much faster than letting everyone provide feedback one at a time. In some cases, that could cause issues if people have differing ideas. This is where the idea of a 3-person team will come in handy. Hopefully, everyone can set aside time quickly and review the proof. It's possible questions will need to be asked about how you envision a certain feature or area of the website to work. The quicker those questions can be answered, the quicker the website will move forward. The amount of time it takes to get questions answered will increase the project timeline very quickly. In some instances, those questions may involve bigger parts of the website that can't be started until an answer is received. If you see something you like on another website after the initial meeting, bring that idea to the table as soon as you can. The idea may be possible under your current budget and time frame, but it has to be discussed quickly before the project gets too far along. Keeping your team up to date about the project is key. If people forget what stage the project is at, they may review old or outdated content or designs. Once the test site is live and you are reviewing content on the internet, be sure you are reviewing the most recent content. You should do a hard refresh. If any changes have been made to the page, you will now see them. Before your new site goes live is the time to promote your new website. You should post a message on your current site about the new website that will be launching, either in the form of a text announcement or banner ad. Get the word out that you will be launching a website. You could update this message as the redesign project moves forward. Eventually, the message would say, "Our new website launches tomorrow." Doing this will prepare your site users of the upcoming change. The last thing you want to do is have a user come to your site expecting to see the old site and end up seeing the new site, which may cause confusion. You should post similar messages on all your social media accounts so all people that engage with your social media will see the message. You could have weekly updates about how the website is progressing. Again, doing this will prepare users. If you post one message the day before the site goes live, odds are not every user will see the message. But if you post updates over the course of the project, each user should see the message and be ready when the new site goes live. Another effective way to get users' attention is through email marketing. If you have an email marketing strategy in place, consider sending a message about the launch. Doing these things should increase your website traffic, but if you wanted to take it one step further, you could have pieces printed with a message about the new website and have these passed out to customers and members as they visit your bank or credit union. If you're trying to get people to sign up for online services, this could help. Maybe the new site is easier, so they feel more comfortable signing up for online services. Whatever the case is, get the message out there that a new site is coming, along with some critical points about the new site that will make users and non-users want to visit the site and sign up for new products and services. I mentioned earlier that I wanted to point out some great tools and services that LKCS offers to help make your website the best it can be. Here are just a few that I think are the most powerful and beneficial web tools that we offer. First up is our Banner Manager. This tool allows you to store all your banners in one place. You can upload a new banner very quickly and easily. This tool allows you to set when you would like the banner to turn on and off automatically. Have a promotion that starts on a Sunday? No problem. Schedule the banner to go live on that day and it will automatically be turned on. Or you can turn banners on and off manually at any time with the click of a mouse. Next is our Rates Manager. If you display rates on different pages of your website, this tool is very helpful. All your rates are stored in one place. You can log in, change your rate, and that rate will be updated wherever it is on your website. Let's say you have auto loan rates in 3 different places. With the Rates Manager, you can change the rate once, and now that rate is updated across the website. Even if you don't display rates on different pages within your site, this tool allows you to make all your rate changes in one place. Those are all great features, but there is one more very powerful feature. The Rates Manager has the ability to track rate changes. So if someone is questioning what a certain rate was, you have the ability to see a revision history of your rates. There are some other tools to go along with the Rates and Banner Manager, like Form Managers, where you can see responses for different forms on your website. But the next tool integrates into all of these, the User Manager. It's likely that you will have multiple users that will need different access rights to these tools. With the User Manager, you can set up new accounts, control what tools they can use, and what information they can see. You can change access levels of users, delete and add new users at any time. There is no need to contact us to do this for you. However, we would be more than happy to help if you needed. I spoke earlier about content management systems. We offer one of the best CMSs in the industry. There are so many great features of our CMS, I could spend a lot of time going over them. But these are just a few of the features I think are great. Our CMS allows you to quickly make changes to content, add pages, delete pages, even schedule when a page should go live or when it should be unpublished. You can also rearrange the order of pages easily with a drag and drop interface. But one of the best features of our CMS is the revision history. You have the ability to see how every page on your website looked from the time it went live to its current look. And if need be, you can easily revert to one of the previous looks. Those are some of the more powerful tools offered by LKCS. Let's move on to some of the services. These are a few of the web services that I think are some of the best. I mentioned towards the beginning of this webinar that you should be reviewing your site at least every year. We believe in the value of inspecting a website every 6 months because we often see problems arising on sites that had been working fine and then all of a sudden something goes wrong. For this reason, when LKCS does a website redesign, we include a free website review every 6 months. The document you will be provided after your review is complete will be full of information about compatibility, broken links, traffic, design, and many other aspects of your site. Obviously, we hope your website review is perfect and there are no issues, but if there are, we will let you know what they are with the option of resolving the issues. We often get emails or calls with changes to a website. Our turnaround time to complete these changes is second to none. Our standard turnaround time on minor website changes is 48 business hours. However, most small changes are done well before that time frame. We do our best to provide a service that is not available anywhere else. One thing you will not find anywhere is our "we do that" attitude. Need something custom designed or built for your website? If we don't have a solution to your problem, we will find one. No request is too big or small. Our team is always thinking about new tools we can develop to help make life easier for people maintaining websites. If you have an idea for a tool that would be helpful, but don't know where to start, we can help take your tool from idea to fully functional. Lastly, I want to remind you that we do specialize in financial institutions, but that doesn't mean we can't help businesses in other industries create amazing websites with great features that provide an excellent user experience. Certainly, we appreciate you keeping LKCS in mind when beginning a website redesign project. We love the opportunity to assist you in any way that we could. And if you enjoyed this webinar or wish to learn additional ways LKCS can help in your marketing efforts, please join us on July 9th for our next presentation titled, "What Are You Searching For?" Our Vice President of Sales, John Dudek, will be discussing new and creative ways for growing your business through credit-based marketing. You can register now at www.lk-cs.com/webinar. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for attending this brief presentation on website redesigns. I hope that I was able to give you some insight on how your bank or credit union can get started. And if you haven't done so already, I hope that you start reviewing your website on a regular basis so you know when you should consider a redesign. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. Feel free to submit them using the question text box provided. Thanks again for attending.